Hi, my friends. Thanks for joining us today in our journey through the Bible, one day at a time, Genesis to Revelation. In this year, this is Tim, your good friend and Bible teacher, and happily married man to a virtuous woman. Although I would say, don't ask Kathy about that. She'd be the first person to say, no way. Our reading for the day was in Proverbs 27 to 31, and you may have guessed. I'd like to just take a few minutes to talk about um, the virtuous woman in Proverbs 31:10 to 31. What is the ideal woman like? Well, you ask around, you'll get a variety of answers. But God also has his opinion, and that's the one that interests me the most. And you'll find what he looks for in a woman in our text today. And I've heard other women say that I really don't like this chapter. Maybe they've heard sermons on it, and they feel like, boy, this sets the standards so high, nobody could possibly reach uh, all the things that this virtuous woman does. And I disagree. There are some places in the Bible where the Lord does challenges us to things that we'll never reach in this life. But you don't find them in Proverbs. This great book gives us God's approach to a very practical, hands on view of life, including this chapter. And no, you're not all gifted in tapestries, but every woman can succeed in ordering her life along these God intended areas of focus for them and their families. There are five of them I want to look at today. So let's dig into this quickly. Number one, her home is a safe haven, verses 10 to 15. You see, this woman is valuable, but she's rare. That's what it means. Her price is above rubies. There are very few of these women around, but that doesn't make them odd. It makes them precious. This is a lady who knows how to live within her means. Her husband may have a modest income, but she finds a way to make it enough. Her home is safe. Many people today get clobbered at school or at work, and there really is a need for a place of safety, and women can give that to their families. Secondly, her home is a source of strength, verses 16 to 20. This is a lady who's successful with maybe investment. She's diligent in her work. She's generous with the result. And her generosity implies more than just mailing a check to a charity once in a while, but it's hands on generosity, caring for those who are in need. And when her deals do work out, she invests in others. You notice that repeatedly hands and arms are mentioned in this section. That's a picture of strength and skill in the Bible, and this woman's home is a place of strength. Not by default, but it takes effort, it takes diligence, and it takes hard work, and she's willing to invest in her home with those qualities. Number three, her home is a catalyst for creativity, verses 21 to 25. Talks about the garments that her husband and her children are wearing. No, she didn't buy these at Walmart. This is her own creativity in action. The gates are talked about here. This is a place in town where business was done. And you may wonder, why did her efforts to clothe her family enhance her husband's reputation? And I'd say it's because her work was being worn by her husband and children and recognized by everybody in town. It was so good. It was sold in markets. Now, her gift was in tapestry. That doesn't apply to everybody, but it can easily apply to other areas of life like music or writing or even cooking. Yes, my friends, soup can be a work of art. If you want to make the scenario focus, your home can be a place where people can be free to do things badly. And that's why it becomes a catalyst for creativity. There's freedom to experiment and try things out and practice, surrounded by love and acceptance in that home. And number four, her home is a teaching center, verses 26 and 27. Often as a wife is a source of great wisdom for a husband. One example might be Bathsheba's advice to David. When Solomon's older brother was creating a revolution, he trusted her counsel, and he was able to avert what could have been a disastrous revolution. Watching over her household means applying wisdom to those around her, and it involves teaching and setting expectations. In other words, this lady makes her home a center for teaching and for wisdom. That should be true in every home. Parents are always responsible for the education their children receive, and a large percentage of that wisdom is passed on by mom. And then finally, number five, her home reflects eternal values, verses 28 to 31. Her children rise up as if testifying and let people know we have a great mom. I've found that a home that's filled with love will also be filled with love returned. When our text refers to charm, it's talking about external appearance. Beauty is vain, means it's nothing. Yes, God's ideal woman may not look like a movie star, but her home is a place where eternal values are passed on to the next generation, and they thank her for it. Well, some good things to think about today. Uh, I hope they do challenge you to realize I can do these things because if you're a lady, you can. Tomorrow, our reading is in Ecclesiastes chapter 1 to chapter 4, and I encourage you to dig into those chapters in the Word, and I'll be looking forward to being back with you again very soon. Have a great day, folks.